That.
You wouldn't let Dan call the play.
He just get the title.
Welcome back.
Trying to help him advance his career. I give Dan the title, make it seem like he's calling the plays. When the camera pans to him, I tell him to put up the call sheet and act like he's really calling the plays.
Right.
Filling the diversity quote
Make
that
face.
for the team.
Yeah, I'm going to fill a diversity quote for the team. Yep, that's what I would do.
But you'd be the head coach, and you're really making the final call on the play.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you go ahead and play the role.
Yeah, you can play the role. I'll let him install in the team meetings. He can install all the plays. He can do all that. He can come up, but I'm calling it.
Right.
I'm calling 100%.
That happens, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
There's some OCs
I'm
that we
go
think
down,
are actually not. They're not
if
really.
I'm going down in flames, I'm gonna be the one that burn me up.
It's funny because when that happens, and you're an assistant coach and you're given credit, you become a head coach. That's what happens. You come off of a coaching tree, and it's like, this guy's brilliant. We need him. In Chicago, we need Matt Nagy. Oh, this guy, he's going to develop quarterbacks. He knows offense. Look who he's worked for. Brilliant mind in Andy Reid. Let's bring him in here. How's it working out? Here's the thing with Nagy that, there's a couple of things that he said in his press conference yesterday.
There are things that he says in his press conference every day.
I keep going, pretty much right. I keep going back
Jay
to,
just likes it.
If I'm the PR guy, every day you're like this. Just stop talking, please. So first, before we get to some of his issues as a coach, let's just go with this random topic of taunting in the NFL and how Matt Nagy feels like taunting doesn't belong in the game.
Some people are egregious with celebrating, and it can be over the top. And I think probably the biggest message is let's calm this down a little bit because, people watch and people want to see, a little bit of respect and a little bit of doing things the right way. It doesn't mean you can't have fun, right? But there's young kids out there right now that are watching games, and what happens is you go to one of these sporting events and you might see some imitation going on that's taking it over the top.
I believe the children are our future. Thank you. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty
all you had to do was this.
Possess inside. Give them a sense of pride.
Boy, good.
Matt Nagy
just
love
do
the
that.
kids.
Just do that. That was the most Captain Obvious quote ever. But I guess he was asked the question. But here's one that I love. So the Bears coming off the bye.
Yeah.
Well, they're not very good out of the bye.
With
Matt Nagy has not won a game yet out of the bye as head coach of the Bears. And apparently it's nobody's fault, but everybody's fault.
Those are hard to recover from, but you have to. You got no choice, right? So, okay, bye week. You got to think about it even more. Guess what? We had a bye week last year, too. We lost 6 games in a row with a bye week stuck in between. The only way to get back to it is say, okay, why is this going on? It's no one's fault other than everybody's. And now we pick the pieces up, and we get a chance to play a great football team that's really well coached at home. And what are we going to do about it?
Well, actually, it's your fault because you haven't prepared your team coming out of a bye. So it's your fault. You, for whatever
Andy Reid,
reason,
who never loses out of a bye.
Why did you just steal my line? You just stole what I was about to say. I was literally about to say.
You were going there.
I was literally about to say, you just worked for a guy who never, ever loses coming out of a bye. And when you left Kansas City, you forgot to take that recipe. You forgot to take that one. Out of all of them, you forgot how to take that one. So the whole time that you was with Andy Reid, you didn't learn a damn thing.
How does it work?
What's hard to recover from?
Yeah,
That's why I didn't understand. What
a bye week is your team having a week off to rest and to prepare for this next opponent. That's adversity. That's hard to recover from, Key.
So here's what I used to go through some of the times with some of my coaches, in particular Bill Parcells, for instance, doing a bye. So we would play on a Sunday, and the bye is the next week.
Mm-hmm.
But Bill would not tell us at all what the plans were for the bye. He would say, hey, see you guys on Monday. We go and watch film, whatever, run around, lift some weights, whatever the case is. Tuesday is our natural day off. Wednesday, we would go in, we would play. We still would know, practice, we still wouldn't know what the hell was going on for the rest of the week. Thursday, we come in, same thing. Friday, we come in, and he might decide at the 11th hour to cut practice short. Or he might continue to have it to the end, and we're still sitting there. So we don't have anything to do except we have a Saturday and Sunday off. But guess what? We got to be back in the building on Monday at 6 o'clock in the morning. So we know what our preparation is for the next week because we basically have already gone through the game plan with those 3 or 4 days getting prepared for our next opponent the next week. And it seems like to me, Matt Nagy doesn't understand that.
Most people assume that bye week means you play on Sunday and Monday you're out. And you don't come back until next Tuesday or Monday.
The rules are different now. During the bye week, guys are gone. But the coaches aren't, or they shouldn't be.
Right.
The coaches should be in there working, playing, doing those sort of things. Planning, game planning. When I played, it was the way they chopped it up. They wouldn't tell you anything. Coach Dungy would say after a Sunday, see y'all next Monday if you're winning. Well, we was always winning with him, though. So, yeah.
True.
Gruden, the same thing. See y'all next week. Because the coaches stayed back, we were going to be prepared because we knew what we were doing.
I just get confused. Am I supposed to believe that Matt Nagy in the locker room is somebody completely different than the Matt Nagy that I hear every presser?
Well, that's what they say.
Well, how can that be the case? Because every time I hear him continue to pontificate, I feel like he tells me more and more about who he is, and I get more and more confused. It's no one's fault but everyone's? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. You know, like, and it's just the things that he said leaves me baffled as a fan of a team.
I completely agree. As a member of the media, I'd be sitting there wondering, like, if this is how you talk to us, like, how are you in front of a team? Because you sound like you're saying too much and it doesn't make sense.
The people that cover the Chicago,
the
Bears say that he's different with the players than he is with the media. And I think that's because some people, the media, you know, they intimidate some people. Maybe he's just not a good speaker to the media. But whatever the case may be, I have no idea what is everybody's fault means.
It sounds like he's in a very authoritative position, though, when he talks to the media. It doesn't sound like he comes from a place where he's intimidated by the media, just in my perspective.
Yeah, it's just confused. But at least, you know, he knows the children are the future. Well, the Bears, they play host the Ravens, and they're hoping to get in the zone out of the bye. Get in the zone, brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. All guests, by the way, on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max Jonas on the Goodyear Hotline. One team may have found their franchise quarterback. It seems like nobody's talking about it. That changes after Key has this from Indeed.
We get it. It's your business, and you want to be involved in